I think I'm done at this point, like loading up on Heat, like to win the series. I'm not done on betting the Heat game by game, though. Because, Ken, you're right. Like, Miami shot 31% from three last night. And then when Miami comes out after the game, and Spoelstra alludes to it, and Jimmy Butler, like the player leader of the team, doesn't allude to it, he flat out says it, our effort and our energy is not there. You would imagine at the very least, and maybe it doesn't matter, and Denver just avalanches them, and Jokic is great, and Murray's great, and Brown's great, and the role players give you more, and maybe Denver just annihilates them. But you would imagine that you'll get a better effort on Friday night from Miami, like backs against, like season on the line, basically. You ain't beaten Denver twice in Denver. Like it ain't happening in Game 5 and Game 7 to come back and win the series. So this is like season on the line, championship on the line. I think you'll definitely get the best effort from Miami. Now, maybe they shoot 30% from three, in which case, like, they're going to lose. No matter how good the effort is, it's not going to make a difference. But if I think the effort's going to be there, and that's going to matter for something, and I kind of think that they're going to shoot better. I base that on nothing other than they've done it basically most of the postseason, and they've been great, as Mike said, and like the kings of backs against the wall in this postseason. I'll bet the Heat. I'll take the 3.5 coming up on Friday night in Game 4. I'm not interested in betting them plus 550 to win the series. I've already got Jimmy Butler to win Finals MVP. Like I think I'm good on all of that stuff at this point now. Like I'm already in. I don't want to be more in. On the like theory stuff.
You're not out.
I'm already in.
But you don't want to be more in.
Yeah, that is fair.
You just want to stay the same.
But I'll be on the Heat. And also I'll bet the Panthers tonight as well. Joining us to talk the NBA Finals with Miami and Denver is our good friend Mike Gallagher from Establish the Run. Mike is on Twitter at Mike S. Gallagher, one of the co-hosts of the Establish the Run NBA podcast. And you got to check out Mike's matchups columns at Establish the Run. Must read stuff. If you bet the NBA, play daily fantasy, season-long fantasy, it is absolutely outstanding. Did Miami show you anything in Game 3 to make you think like things could be different coming up tomorrow night, Friday night in Game 4 for the rest of the series? Like, was there anything there where you can say, okay, if they do this a little better, and maybe this is just make every three-pointer, but anything to kind of like, if you're a Miami Heat backer like me, where you could say, okay, I can point to this and say, I think this can be different, and I think Miami can capitalize on it moving forward?
It's really hard. I mean, the way they got crushed on the glass, the Kevin Love lineup got killed on the glass. They made a 34% rebound rate, which is disgusting. That's been an issue. They've been out-rebounded. They've been, holding the Nuggets in check and in transition, but they can't score in transition. I haven't really seen much, which I think that this is it has to almost be outside the box where maybe they throw Caleb Martin as more of a 2-3 rather than being a 4-3. I don't think they would pull Max Strus out of the starting lineup, but maybe you cut him down a little bit. Maybe you have Duncan Robinson. Maybe Tyler Hero is an X factor that could fill some non-Jimmy minutes as well. But, yeah, it's just tough. Jokic is rim protection. I mean, everyone dogs Jokic. I was just kind of messing around for matchups tomorrow. In this series, he's kept teams at the rim. This stat's a little wonky, but 23% below average with his rim protection in this series on a 27-shot volume. They are shutting down the basket, and they just can't score, and they can't stop Denver. What are you going to do? You put two on Jamal, you're dead. You put one on Jamal, you're dead. They're clearly just going to lean on this two-man action, and it's just unguardable. Maybe they run zone. We saw almost no zone. This last game, I think they only had 12 possessions in zone per synergy. That's by far their fewest, which is related to Jokic playing more minutes, played 44 minutes. Obviously, the non-Jokic minutes is when they play most of the zone. So, hey, I think they maybe just try zone and see if something works, because whatever they're doing, we saw Jimmy guard Jamal early and then went away from it. We saw a lot of Caleb Martin on him. So, I think this Spoelstra, who is really the outside-the-box king, has to come up with something that we haven't seen yet to somehow pull out a win, because they have to win Game 4. You don't want to try to win 3 in a row against Denver.
Mike, we only have like a minute left. I think I know the answer to this question because you kind of alluded to already. I think you think this is kind of a done deal, but just kind of your final – this could be the last time we have you on before the series is over and before presumably Denver has won the title, or maybe Miami is still alive at that point when we have you on next week. Who wins the NBA Finals? How many games? Is it as simple as Denver and Jokic as MVP, or is there anything else that seems possible to you?
Yeah, I think that Denver Nuggets in 5 is probably the favorite. I picked them in 6. I wouldn't be surprised if Miami wins Game 5 in Denver. But, I mean, I'm a numbers guy, and all the numbers are screaming to me. It's just like, oh, my God, how is this even – they're just killing them in so many areas. So I kind of lean Nuggets in 5. They should be minus 1,000. I get Miami has been consistently mispriced. But Denver is just so hard to beat. They just have counters to all the runs. So I think this is probably my last episode with you guys during the NBA season /playoffs.
Let's put a bow on our NBA Finals conversation and just talk Finals MVP. Denver, obviously a massive favorite to win the series, as we have detailed. Minus 800 at BetMGM. Nikola Jokic is minus 650 to be Finals MVP. Now, Jamal Murray had a triple-double last night as well, 30-point triple-double. He has been amazing in the first 3 games of the Finals. In fact, is the first player in NBA history to have 10-plus assists in each of his first 3 NBA Finals games. Murray is 20-1 to be Finals MVP. Obviously, Jokic should be favored, but has Murray done enough to make you think, Ken, that he might be more alive than the market expects to win Finals MVP? If indeed Denver is to win an NBA championship, do you think Jamal Murray is worth a couple shekels at 20-1?
The short answer to this question is no, for just in my opinion, and because we don't have a situation where a team has co-best players. And Jamal Murray has been phenomenal in this. This is not like an anti-Jamal Murray conversation. It's just like Jokic really might be one of the best players of all time. And he's the best player on the team. And if he's the best player on the team and he's playing like this, and he's played the whole postseason like this, and he's like breaking like Wilt Chamberlain records every night, then Murray can be record-breaking too, and that's awesome, and they're both great. But like Jokic is winning. And so there's the short answer. Well, that was sort of more the long answer. The short answer is no, Murray can't win. Like there are 2 reasons to make a bet, right? One, because you think something's actually going to happen. I don't think Jamal Murray's ever going to win. But I guess you could have the conversation if you bet 20 and he has a triple-double again, is it 8? Is it 7? Something like that. And then I guess you would come back and bet Jokic. I don't think there's like any money to be made in this one, but this is just like a good example of like, it doesn't always have to be like, well, I don't think that's going to happen, or like, I think that's going to happen. It could be more like, okay, tomorrow, what is the price in this market for this player to do this thing? Like, what if Murray has an amazing stat line game again? There might only be 2 games left in this series. Maybe you get a price drop out of it, and then you play Jokic, and then you win no matter who wins. It would just be like, I don't know if we can use that tool from the LA De La Cruz situation to like play this market, but that would be like one of the tools that I would use to like kind of analyze stuff like this.
Does Jamal Murray have Riz?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He made a 3 and then looked at Mike Breen and said, bang.
That is pretty awesome. That is pretty Riz-worthy, to be fair.
I mean, that's like,
yeah.
That gives you some insight into his Rizitude. Yeah.
I have a hot Riz take.
Oh boy.
The player on the Denver Nuggets with the most Riz, Christian Brown.